Now, these oligodendrogliomas, they are a very, very rare form of brain cancer, affecting maybe 5% of people who've got brain tumours. It's still mostly easy to treat, especially where I am. Where mine is, if you're going to play tumour trumps, I've got the best type, it was just there. So he explained what we were going to do. He said, we're going to monitor it for 3 months. Because I wasn't having seizures, he was able to monitor it. And the reason he didn't want to take it out straight away, and the reason he wanted to wait, was because it gives him a growth record. Because otherwise they're going to operate blind. They have no idea what the future will hold for me. So I had to wait from November to January, which was so hard. Had to wait for the next scan, not knowing if it had grown. And it was absolutely terrifying. In my head it was growing bigger, and at the next scan they were going to tell me I had 5 years to live. But I couldn't let myself think like that, so I pushed it to the back of my mind and just sort of tried to carry on with life, carry on running my businesses, seeing my friends. I planned a trip to LA, last minute trip, to go and see my sort of friends out there, and the people I consider my family at the Playboy Mansion, just to, not as a morbid goodbye to them, but more as a thank you for everything you've done for me, and I hope to see you again one day sort of trip, which was really sad, because they were on Facebooks at different times to me. Some of my friends sat there didn't know, because I only posted a few times about it. So that was quite sad when you bring it up in conversation and they're like, what? I'm like, oh, you didn't know. Which has happened a lot. I mean, I assume people are on Facebook all of the time, but in fact, not a lot of the time they are. They miss stuff. So sometimes when people find out about it, I have to sort of go through it all again with people. I don't mind. Everyone's really caring, which is nice. So yeah, so waiting for that scan was just horrible. I had a real fear of going out public places just in case I got bonked on the head with something, a bottle, or I did actually have a bottle thrown at me in one of the clubs and it hit me in the back of the head, and I spent about 6 hours in A&E having tests to make sure it hadn't hit my brain tumour. And after that I was just like, I just don't want to go clubbing again. Apparently lots of other people have fears of being hit and stuff. It's not completely irrational. I had fears of going on a tube in London. I had a fear that I was suddenly going to have a seizure. I'd have to stand as far back from the train as possible as it was coming, and then when doors open, just run on and then run off again, and try not to stay too close to the track, because if you have a seizure you can't control it, you will fall anywhere. I was terrified I was going to have a seizure whilst driving as well. That really scared me. When I was driving, if I saw something like, if I felt funny or dizzy, I'd just pull over straight away and just sit there for 10 minutes until it was gone, because I just didn't know how a seizure was going to begin, and that was really scary for me. Apparently you see some kind of lights and you see like an aura around everything before you have a seizure, someone told me. And then one night there was lightning, and I just kept seeing these flashes of light, and I was like, oh god, I'm going to have a seizure. And I pulled over, and about 5 minutes later I was like, okay. And then it happened again. I was like, okay, no, I need to stay here. And then I realised it was lightning. I was like, oh god, Kerry, you're such an idiot. But I really panicked that I was about to have a seizure, and all it was lightning. It was so random. But I've not had one to date, so I've been absolutely fine. People look at me and they're like, you look so healthy. Because I've been supplementing to the max, and I've made myself so healthy since I was diagnosed. In 3 months I've gone from being tired and exhausted to feeling absolutely incredible. My skin glows. You couldn't tell that I have cancer, which is kind of a good thing. People treat you normally, then you don't get the "you okay?" head tilt, which I get when people know about it. So you get treated normally in a shop or a restaurant or in a bar. So I'd rather look really well and just be a little bit sick in there. Who isn't, right? Than look like a cancer patient. I can't say how I'm going to look after. I'm probably despicable. And whilst I'm having chemo, if I as well, then I'll probably be avoiding people for a little while until I look nice again. But it's really weird to think that what's going on in my head, the fact that I've got cancer, and then you look at people in the street and they look normal, and you're thinking, what do they have? Do they have something wrong with them? Are they hiding something that behind that smile that is killing them? And it's just a really, really surreal feeling to look at people and think, are they fighting what I'm fighting? But they just look like normal people. It's really strange. Which is why I believe more than ever that you should just never judge anyone from looking at them, because you just don't know what they're going to be going through inside. After I was diagnosed with my brain tumour, I posted on Facebook to say I'm coming out of hospital. I've got some bad news to tell everyone, and I will update you all after I've told my sisters. Of course, you get the hundreds of comments of what's wrong with you, are you okay, and people texting me, and I was just like, I just wasn't ready for it yet. I felt it was something that if I only told my family and close friends, as much as they would keep it to themselves. People talk. Say my sisters at work, the boss might have said like, oh, how come you're very upset? Or they might tell their best friend, and of course their best friend will tell someone else, or their mum, and then they'll tell their friend. And I just thought it's easier just to tell my family face to face, and then just tell the world on Facebook. I thought it was just easier to tell my family face to face and then just tell the world on Facebook, because otherwise everyone would gossip. Everyone would be like, have you heard about Kay Parker? She's got a brain tumour. You know how Chinese whispers are. Suddenly I'd be dying or something. I don't know, because it's Norwich, isn't it? It's Drama Central, Gossip Central, Two-Face Central. So I felt, just tell everyone on Facebook at once, make it public, and then everyone knows, everyone's informed. No one can talk behind my back then, which I really, really hate. So I just did a status saying, I've got a brain tumour. Don't know what's going to happen. That's about it. I had hundreds of messages and hundreds of comments of people who couldn't believe it and they were upset, and which was really, really sweet. Thank you guys. I had hundreds of messages from people and comments and texts and just people sharing statuses, writing statuses about me. Just really, really, really lovely and supportive. So thank you, everyone. That really kept me going for a difficult few days, was talking about it openly. And I thoroughly recommend anyone who ever gets diagnosed or knows someone, just talk to people. Because people had stories of hope for me. People had just kind words to say, but just that kind of support on that level that you get is tremendous. So that's my best piece of advice, is just talk openly about it. I know some people will struggle with that and some people can't, but at the end of the day, that helped me so much, was just be able to share my story with others and let them know what I'm going through and be on that journey with me. Just being honest with everyone really, really helped. I thought if I wasn't, then one day I might just snap at people. If I was having a really bad day and feeling really down and they're messaging me with trivial nonsense, I would have just gotten really, really angry and just snapped at them. So I thought, it's better everyone knows, and then if I get cranky, at least everyone knows why. A lot of time when I've seen friends or people I'm working with, when I met them for the first time after obviously they found out I had a brain tumour, and they just look at me and cry, and it's just, that is the saddest thing, that it means so much to me that people are that sad about it, that it brings tears to their eyes. That's lovely. That is the nicest thing in the world, that to see who cares that much is absolutely incredible. And a lot of people who don't know they shouldn't care that much about me, we've not been that close, it's been business orientated or stuff like that, but they care so much, and it's just reminded me just how many amazing people there are in my life, and I'm just so grateful for all of them, whether it's people I'm working with, and it's like corporations and people that my business is associated with, or whether it's just people like in my local post office. A guy had seen it in the paper and he was really, really sad, and just things like that. Just people who, they've got no reason to care and show their support, but they do. It means a lot. When I go to the doctors or anything now, and obviously they check the notes, and obviously says patient diagnosed with brain tumour last month, whatever. and you go in for something silly, and they're sort of looking at you like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just got a headache," or something like that, something silly. Then that's kind of awkward. When I was having my head, someone said, "Oh, you were in hospital, I saw on Facebook. Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm not too bad. I go in for brain surgery in a few months." They're like, "What?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I got brain tumour." And they're like, they say nothing. And I just always say, "Well, this is awkward," and just try and make them laugh, because it's just, how do you react when someone tells you, "Yeah, I've got brain tumour"? It's a tough one. I'd never come across anyone with a brain tumour before, except a little boy. His sister won one of our child's pageants that one of my companies run, and most inspirational little fellow has gone through brain surgery twice. He's 52 weeks of chemo, and he's a baby. I think he's 8 or 10, and he's the only person I've ever known with a brain tumour. And now all I see is brain tumours everywhere. People messaging me saying, "My daughter died, my sister died, I lost my son, my friend." So many people have been killed at a young age. It's just horrible, which is why I'm trying to raise a lot of money for brain tumour research. Just because I feel that all of these deaths could have been unnecessary if they were just detected earlier. But like in my case, it was found by accident, and sometimes symptoms don't show until it's too late. And sometimes that makes me think, why me? Why am I so special that they found mine early? And instead of thinking why me, as in why did I get this brain tumour? If God exists, why did he give me this brain tumour? What have I done to deserve this? Instead, that hearing things like that makes me feel, what did I do to deserve living? How come I get to live and so many others don't? It's really sad to think that so many people have lost their lives from this, and I've been given a chance, and I'm going to be grateful for that for as long as I live, however long I live. And it made me think, well, I've got some purpose to do then. It's not some sudden epiphany where I think I'm going to change the world. I've been chosen for something, but it is a sense of feeling that, well, okay, I have a chance here to do something right. I have a high profile in the media. I've got a lot of followers, in the sense that I've always been in the media, and also I keep a sort of lower profile than I used to. I can still make a difference to people's lives. I can still talk about this experience. I can try and help people going through the same thing by being open and honest about everything I'm going through, the entire journey. I can raise money for charity, for brain tumour research, because they get less than 1% of all cancer research monies. I can try and change that. I can try and make sure that the survival rate isn't 90% of people die within 5 years after diagnosis, and that it isn't the #1 killer of kids and adults under 40. I can try and do something to change that, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life campaigning and fundraising to try and make a difference, because I feel I've been given the chance to make a difference, and for whatever reason I don't want to ruin it. I want to do as much as I can. I'm going to appreciate every day, every second that I'm alive, and I'm just going to use that time to just try and make a difference to people's lives.